Hi, everyone. You're watching Pop Culture at Home. I'm John Connor Colston with the one and only Jonathan Van Ness. Jonathan, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. I wanted my little Shih Tzu Ranger to be in here for this discussion on all things pets, but he was a little camera shy today. But he sends his regards.
It happened. I
He's a
wish he was here too.
big fan of Queer Eye and Game of Thrones. He's watched every episode with us.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
So we are talking about pets today, especially during the holiday season. People are running out, even though things are a little different this year. They're still running to stores, grabbing gifts, maybe running to the post office to mail gifts, and because they're not doing things in person this year. And plus, you might want to just make some holiday cookies for yourself. Got to run to the grocery store. So pets have been here in our houses this whole time, really bonded with us. What are some tips you have with your pets to kind of keep them calm when you're hustling and bustling this time of year?
Totally. I also think, we do need to, let's be very clear in the words of Elizabeth Warren. We are actually in our cats' homes. So I think all cat people know that we actually have, we've been in their space and they are wondering just as much. They're very anxiously anticipating a return to a world where we leave our house more often because we are really in their space. And they're wondering just as much as we are. I think the dogs are loving it. But yes, I think really this is like, I've been someone who loves, like, and we all grew up with bacon strips. I grew up with dogs that loved bacon strips. And so bacon strips iconically, and, Purina was something that I was like, cute. And then really when it came to this year, it's like, what can we do with all this togetherness time with pets? And I know that my animals have always been stressed out around Christmas, not even from like, I've never hosted like a gigantic Christmas or Thanksgiving, but my cats still get stressed out with wrapping presents because they think that they're like packing to leave somewhere. So that's always just kind of stressed them out. Just a lot of that. Because I think people with cats know, like, when you do something like way out of the ordinary, like at first they want to play with the boxes, but then when it's like continued out of the ordinary, they were like, oh man, are we going somewhere? Like, what's happening? And so it's really fun with the treats to just like create kind of a distraction. And we did these like DIY, like kind of like hide and go seek treats with the cats where you take like, you just hold on to your empty egg cartons. You can hide like the little fancy feast savory cravings in a few of the little pockets. And then you can take like bows or like ornaments or just like little, like a folded up little piece of like wrapping paper and wad it up and cover the little like egg, like casings. And the cats will just like be looking for treats. It takes up like 45 minutes and they just love it so much. So that's something the cats have really been into. And I've also just been like getting so many more toys for the cats. And then sometimes they're like, I don't want to play with your toy. And then I'm like, but what if there's a treat? And then they're like, okay. So that's just been getting them more into like the idea of playing with toys. And that's just been wearing them out more and using more of their energy. And with all this more togetherness, that's been better for them. And then with Pablo, we're obsessed with outside. We've gotten so into kind of agility stuff and training him in that way to like gain confidence and like have him use his mental stamina. So what we do is we have a hula hoop. We've like been getting him to walk through the hula hoop for the reward of a treat. He loves that. Then we worked on like taking it off the ground a little bit, which he can also do. He loves that. We got one of those like little like pyramid agility training things to like for his confidence, and he was really into that. And then he also just likes to play hide and go seek with his bone. So that's another thing that he likes to play outside. Pablo's definitely a dog who gets a little bit like, hey cats, those are my toys, and this is my bone and my bacon strips if we play with them inside. So the cats have like their playroom where their toys stay with like a kid divider where Pablo doesn't go in there. And then Pablo gets his toys and his treats outside because for our family, like they do it best separated. But yeah, it's really fun to just anything like take up your extra free time and wear out the animals. They all get along better.
And for our viewers who aren't aware of your pet situation, you've got cats, you've got a shelter dog. What is the situation in your house with
I
your
have
pets right now?
4 cats and a dog, and they're all shelter babies. And yeah, I have a 7-year-old gray tuxedo cat Larry. Then I have a 2.5-year-old like Russian blue rescue cat. Well, all my cats are rescues, but named Liza Mianelli. Then I have Matilda and Genevieve, who round out my cat squad. And then I have Pablo, who's a 2-year-old lovely little baby from Austin. And yeah, and we adopted Pablo this year, and he is just such a sweet dog. And he is a dog though that has, I don't know exactly what happened before we got him. He was about 2 when we got him, but he does have some, it's called like resource guarding, where he gets
Mhm.
a little bit like possessive around treats, around food, like around me. He like doesn't love it if a cat, or like if we're on a walk and someone like, he just gets a little possessive. So that's an,
Yeah.
I never knew what to expect with like adopting a dog. I didn't know any of the stuff that you can kind of run into behaviorally, which we are working through that. I have had to like know when to ask for help because it's kind of beyond my pay grade. And I didn't, and I also think like I'm not an average dog person because I do have 4 cats. And
Yeah.
if you have a dog that has aggression or resource guarding issues, like I needed to know when to ask for help, and I'm so excited that I was able to get it. And he's doing so good, and he's coming home so he'll actually be back with me for Christmas. But part of our thing was is that the cats and I had to we were all in Texas for all of COVID or for the quarantine, and then we had a job opportunity come up in New York, and that's where I am now. And to take him out of the training where we were like, because we were coming for training there, like socially distanced sessions with him,
Mm.
but then he was also staying there because they were working with him full time. Um, but it would have been really unfair for us to like take him out of there, drive him up here, and like so we really just needed to get him stable. So
Yeah.
right now we have our 4 cats, and then he's rejoining in Christmas time. So that was like a tough decision. Because he really wanted to bring him, but it's like he needs more help. He needs kind of like constant training right now. Because it's like if you are gonna have a dog and you're gonna go on walks, sometimes people might are gonna come close up. And sometimes people might have a toy somewhere, and we gotta have him ready to be able to be a cool cucumber in any situation. And we're not right there yet. So but he's close. And he's just the cutest little baby boy with the cutest little nose and the cutest little baby. He's just, gosh, we love him so much. So I can't wait to be reunited. It'll feel so good.
And there's no better time for a reunion with the holidays. It's just heartwarming stuff all around. So I'm really excited for that for you because
Me too.
with my little Shih Tzu, I don't know what I would do if I was without him for that long a time.
I
Um,
know.
you mentioned you were in Austin for quarantine. I know you guys were planning to shoot Queer Eye down there. We talked to Bobby a few weeks ago, and kind of just no update on things. I know you guys are just waiting it out. So my question to you is, what do you miss most about not being in that Queer Eye cycle?
Everyone. I miss doing new people's hair. I miss seeing new salons. I miss seeing new city. I just miss like our crew. I miss everybody. Miss being together. It's just such an honor to get to be a part of that and get to meet people and get to keep learning more about the art of hairdressing and keep getting to grow my craft there. I just miss it. And I can't wait for us to all be together again.
Yeah. And but you have stayed a little busy this year. You had that really awesome commercial with Simone Biles
Yes.
that a lot of people loved, and it did get a little bit of backlash from some random groups and stuff. What do you say or to people who had something to say about that commercial when it was just really fun and really hilarious?
I just think like, unfortunately transphobia is like something that isn't new. But what is new is these fancy feast savory cravings breaking food. And I love them and they're tasty. And yeah, have so I'm really trying to like focus on positive and focus on, I mean, there are areas where, we need to deal with realities that are difficult and uncomfortable, and we all have to deal with those. But when it comes to what I'm putting out in the world, I'm not going to spend my time focusing on people whose hearts aren't fundamentally in the right place to begin with. And so, yeah.
I love that so much. Last question I have for you before I'll let you jump off is I know you've touched on some of the little treats and stuff you're doing with your animals, but what are you going to give them for Christmas, and what is their kind of Christmas morning going to be like? If you don't, they might want to cover their ears if they're a little
I
too close to your
yeah.
shot.
Well, these little babies they've really been a little spoiled this year. They have like literal feeders that are like programmed to their microchips so that like their other cat friends can't steal their food. And they also have like dedicated playtime, like literally every time, like every day we do like dedicated playtime. We also literally do our DIY treat hiding game. Like that's literally something that we do. Like at first we did a little more. Now we kind of run low on treats, so we're doing a little bit less. So we need to re-up our game. But um I think it'll probably just be like a typical day of like, except for with just like more food for the humans. But I mean, we're flooded with treats and toys and hiding spaces and enrichment places for them and delivery boxes that we cut holes in for them to like make into hiding cat playhouses. So they are just they're they got they're
They got
doing the
their
most.
treats. They got their
Yeah.
boxes with random
They're,
holes they can fit inside and just sit in. That's all they need.
yes. Yes.
Well, all right, Jonathan. Thank you so much for talking with us today. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. A happy 2021. Hopefully, it'll be a lot better than 2020.
Fingers crossed.